Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Mr. Hicks Podcast. We are here getting it in once again, time and time again. I'm your host, Mr. Hicks, and we are talking NBA playoffs, Western Conference Finals, and it has been, I feel like, a great series. Even though it's a 3-0 series, which you would think, oh, that's not really compelling. You're not watching the games if you're thinking that. These games are exciting. There are big plays all over the place. A lot of assisted plays, a lot of smart basketball, amazing effort, really fast pace. So, like, to the point where I'm not even watching the Eastern Conference Finals. Tried to watch one game of the Eastern Conference Finals, and I felt like I was going to fall asleep. Compared to what's going on in the West, it's just not even the same game. And whoever wins this game, I believe, is going to win an NBA championship. I really hope that I want to see, honestly, I want to see Kyrie win one without LeBron. I want to see Luka get one. So good for those guys for having it together. So the game, final score was Minnesota Timberwolves 107 and the Dallas Mavericks 116. So a few points for takeaways of this game was like Minnesota didn't have a lead until 2 minutes till 2 minutes left in the third quarter, which I thought was amazing. That means that Dallas basically dominated this game for 3/4 of the game and did end up winning it. So the Mavs shot about 50% from three on 14 of 28 shooting, which is very good numbers. The Mavs made more free throws than the Wolves even attempted, 26 of 31, and hitting 84%, while Minnesota was 12 for 17 at 70%. So the players of the game, Karl-Anthony Towns with 11 of 24. Anthony Edwards was 11 of 24, 26 points. He was 0 for 2 from 3. He was also 9 rebounds and 9 assists. So definitely contributing there. A little bit under 50%, from the two, but still a pretty solid game for him. Karl-Anthony Towns came up pretty short this game. He was 5 of 18. He was 14 points, 0 of 8 from 3. Sir, dog, gentlemen, what are we doing here? So then you got 11 rebounds and 3 assists. So for the winning team, Dallas Mavericks, you got Luka Doncic out here doing this during 33 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and 5 steals. So just basically doing a little bit of everything, just contributing to that win. Kyrie goes for 33 as well, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and was plus 12 for the game. And I wanted to mention that Dante Exum had 1 assist in this game. Why is that relevant? It's not really. I'm just amazed that Dante Exum is still in the NBA. I really am. If you'd have told me Dante Exum is out there getting buckets. I mean, he's not getting buckets, but just the fact that he's still in the league. Like, if anybody remembers when he was drafted, you are probably jaw on the ground just as much as I am to believing that this guy is even still in the league. I know he's from Australia. Please take Ben Simmons with you whenever you go back. Thank you very much. All right, so a few points I wanted to mention about this game. So for the Mavs to get 0 for 9 from 3-pointers from your starters, from your majority of the scorers. Remember, those aren't just I'm missing shots. Those taking away good high percentage shots from somewhere else on the floor. So that's always a thing to me when it's like, and especially Karl-Anthony Towns, when he's not hitting threes, I don't think he's the same player. He doesn't stretch the floor the same. I don't think he's an elite defender. I don't think he contributes as much when he's not hitting three. You're not getting the same floor spacing. You're not opening up the same lanes for everybody else when you're not on your game. And I don't think he just plays with the same energy. Seems just doesn't really bring it when he's not hitting that three. He really takes ownership of that being a really good 3-point shooting big man. So when he's not hitting it, you can see it's just in his body language and everything. It's just not him. And I love Karl-Anthony Towns and what he's doing. He is really ambitious with his game. He is really strong with it. He's very confident. He's got that swag. And he's still a pretty likable guy, even though he's a killer out there on the road. And I like him. But he's getting walked by Kyrie Irving. Not that anybody else wouldn't be. Kyrie Irving is an elite guard. He's has probably the deepest bag in the NBA when it comes to, I'm getting the bucket off here. It might go in, it might not, but I'm getting a good look, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's very few people that you can say about. 2 of them just happen to be on this team. So I remember game 1, about the end of the third quarter, Ant was so gassed, he was literally walking up the court. And this is the NBA Finals. And you're in quarter 3, the beginning of he's just literally walking. He looked absolutely exhausted. Kyrie is just running them all over the place. So I think it's affecting his shot late in games. And I also think he's less explosive. He's worn down. I don't really blame him. It's just that he asked for this challenge and he wasn't up to it. So young fellas, sounds really great to go call somebody out, but don't call for me. Don't call for me and be surprised when you get me. Don't call for me. Don't do that. Don't do that. So to me, at no point in this series did I ever feel like that Dallas was going to lose. Like, even with the times where Minnesota was winning and winning by a lot, at no point did I really feel like in the flow of the game that Dallas was like out of this game. And there was times when the Mavericks the Minnesota was up by 15, 20 points at some point in this game. I think in game 2. But in watching the game, you just know that Kyrie is comes down and hits a big 3, gets a quick bucket. Luka comes down, they rattle off 2 or 3 points, they keep it close, and they know all they have to do is keep it close, because they know the refs are going to swallow their whistle at the end of the game. They're going to be executing while the young team is going to be tired. They're going to be discombobulated. Not every team that is a great regular season team is a great playoff team, because it comes down at the end of the games. The refs are going to swallow their whistles, and it's going to come down to execution, veteran players. What set plays can you run? Who can you count on to get a bucket in crunch time? And the Dallas Mavericks have 2 guys that they know they can count on. Most teams don't even have one. So as far as Kyrie having the really deepest bag, and I do believe this, like, he might have the deepest bag in the NBA. He's probably the best below the rim finisher I've ever seen. I've seen him leaning back. I've seen him double clutching, scooping underneath. His brain to me must work a million miles an hour, because it feels like he's making it up as he goes along. I don't want to reduce it to that, because I really feel he's doing an amazing job. I don't want to reduce it just like, oh, he's really talented. Of course, I know he works on this stuff, but it feels like he's able to just reach and call upon whatever he needs when he needs it. It always seems to be the right decision or the right move at the right time. And that's the thing that I'm finding fascinating. Whatever he's choosing to do as he's going to the basket, it never seems to be a bad choice. It never seems to be. If he passes out of it, it's always well executed. If he continues to the basket, you know that was an incredible degree of difficulty what he did, and somehow he still manages to pull it off. And the same token, Luka Doncic is watching Luka at the end of that game walk into the lane anytime he wanted to was like that, watching the tortoise and the hare story over and over again. How is a man this slow-footed continuing to just walk down the lane? How is it that nobody is able to stop this guy from getting to his spot? Is he that big? Is he that strong? Is he that savvy? I mean, let me know in the comments where my basketball people if you have a really good explanation, because honestly, if you have one, please send something to Minnesota, because they don't know how to stop him either. It's very difficult for a layman to look at what Luka is doing and then decipher it and feel like it's like elite play. What it does is work. And I think as American basketball players, basketball fans, we are used to seeing elite handle or the just twitchiness, very lean muscle, explosiveness to the basket, playing above the rim, those things. We're not used to Luka and guys like Joker that are elite basketball players without seemingly being great athletes at the same time. We're just not used to that. And I think we're kind of like, I don't know if I like this. We're not really accepting of a player who's just a great basketball player who's not dunking from the free throw line trying to impress us. So I love what the Wolves have done this far, but I'd be shocked if they didn't get swept. They're early. They're a young team. They're early. They just got assembled. I believe they just got Rudy Gobert in this season. I did not think that was going to work at all. Good for them for making it happen. The great defense they played last year, especially they're putting out the world champions. Good for them. But I still think they're a year away, and I think good teams do have to fight their way from an early exit to going to a final and then finally winning a championship. I hope this is that next year or the year after that will be their time if they can hold these guys together. Like I said, I'm not even watching the Eastern Conference Final. This is so entertaining. I'm kind of going to be sad that it's over, to be honest with you, if Minnesota gets swept. Even though they get swept, I'm really not going to feel that bad about it. I feel like Minnesota has still got a bright future. Anthony Edwards could end up being the face of the league, so good for them. And I want to give a shout out. I feel like it's getting glossed over the fact that Jason Kidd is the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. He's just, as far as having a deep bag, like he's one of, as far as like a passer and a floor general, he really is one of the greatest point guards in the history of the NBA. He had a very rough start of it when he started off as a head coach, because he transitioned right from being a player to being a head coach. And it's just amazing what he's doing. He's coaching two very intelligent players. It seems like everybody's bought in to what he's serving. I am not enough of a basketball head to talk really about the X's and the O's and the execution of it. I just want to give a shout out to a Hall of Fame basketball player and an amazing basketball mind who is now gonna, I believe, win a championship. I think he was on the team of the Mavericks that won. Also, the original team that drafted Jason Kidd was the Mavericks. So there's a chance that he will get drafted with a team, win a championship with that team, and then coach that team to a championship. And that'll be a great addition to his legacy. So that's my time. Take it easy.